Not forgetting how to take us live, Chelsea.
Sure did. Sure did. So,
Wow.
that being said, hello and welcome to everyone who's watching the Written in Melanin channel, wherever this day may have found you. I'm so glad that you are here. My name is Chelsea, better known as CM Lockhart, and I am here with the one, the only, the amazing Audra Russell. And we are here to bring some melanin to your pages. And it is Melanin Chat Day. We have made it another 2 weeks. So hello to everyone in the chat. Benjamin is here. Jay Monet is here. Welcome. JK, D. Roussel, Miss Woman of Color Reader, Vina, welcome. Hope you guys are thriving, having an amazing Tuesday morning. And please don't be wondering where I'm at. If I'm not showing up, I will tell y'all, but y'all know I run on CP time. Y'all know I run on CP time. So I just... It'd be like 10 o'clock, but in my mind, I'd be like, it's like 10:05. That's fine. That's fine. So just give me some grace. Give me some grace.
Grace. Grace.
But also, shout out to La and Ash and Read Love Listen, who are also here this morning. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. I do want to kindly point your attention to the question in the chat, which is, what would y'all like us to discuss today? Because I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it 100.
We ain't got nothing.
We ain't got nothing. It is.
We ain't got nothing.
It is not for lack of effort either. I have just been writing. I have been in a cave, minding my business these past 2 weeks, trying to get this book done. But you know what? The book.
I've been doing junk removal, so I ain't had nothing. I'm like,
It be like that. It be like that. But we are always. It's always a good time, regardless. So we are here. We are here. Thank you for CP time. I would say you're early. Thank you. See, y'all understand how this works, and I appreciate y'all for that, because honestly, I don't think I've ever been on time for a Melanin Chat. Have I ever been on time for a Melanin Chat?
yes.
I mean, I think I have a couple times. My track record's not high though.
More than a couple times. It's been more than a couple times.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have something we could talk about, but it's not really book related.
Oh.
I just have some feelings about it. So there's this well,
Wait.
it's on Netflix. Yeah, I know we got to do the books first.
Yes. But
I'm gonna tell you what it is though. There's this documentary on, is it Netflix or Hulu? I think it's Hulu, called Brats, and it's about the Brat Pack.
Oh.
And Andrew McCarthy talks about how the article that named them the Brat Pack affected them, and I was like, so much privilege going on right now.
Interesting.
So much privilege going on. Yeah, like, they called you the Brat Pack and you got more exposure, and y'all still had movies. And then he was like complaining about how, and he went and, interviewed other people that, most of the brats, I think, except for Judd, talking about how that article affected him and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you made millions. So,
Oh wow.
what?
Oh wow. I mean,
they had one black guy on there that was like, yeah, I didn't see myself in these movies. He was black and queer. He's like, I didn't see myself in these movies. And they had this one author who writes these books about social whatever, was like, well, like Ferris Bueller, he's like, he was a middle-class kid in Chicago, and, the reality is that there would be no black people, or there'd be the one black person in his class. And I'm just like, so much going on there. So much privilege. Like, you're upset because they called y'all brats, because they were like, well, it demeans the fact that we were all talented actors and blah, blah, blah. Like, but y'all all had jobs at a time where I'm sure there were black people who auditioned for those movies, and they were just like, you can be an extra, but you don't really fit what we're looking for. So anyway, throwing that out there.
I have things to say, but I'll save it for after we do the Melanin Spotlight for this week. So, as always, I am going to let Audra go first, but this time it's not because she has the book. It is because I have my tea here and I need to mute myself so I can put some agave in it and I can sip on it. So I need her to talk for a little bit.
I do not have this book, y'all.
Look at her. I'm so proud of her. Look at her. Thriving in capitalism, not buying things.
This is the third in a series. It's an Annalise Spain mystery, and this is book 3. It's called Truth Be Told. So I actually am interested enough to want to read this, go back and read the first series. But it takes place in Denver in the 1920s. The whole series does. So this one says Denver's newest detective, a garden's deadly secrets. On a lovely June night in 1924, amateur detective Annalise Spain is mingling bravely at a high-class political fundraiser in the lush backyard garden of famed political fixer Cooper Coates, one of the wealthiest men in Denver's black neighborhood of 5 Points. When Coates' young daughter discovers a pretty stranger dead in her father's garden shed, Anna Lee is thrust onto the baffling new case just as she's reeling from another recent discovery, a handwritten letter found buried in her own garden that reveals the identity of her mother. Not ready to face the truth about her hidden past, Annalee throws herself into solving the mystery of the young woman's demise. With the help of her pastor boyfriend Jack Blake, her orphan buddy Eddie, and her trustworthy church friends, Annalee follows the clues to 3 seemingly disconnected settings: a traveling carnival set up downtown, a black civic club, and a prestigious white seminary on the outskirts of Denver. Intriguing advice also comes from a famous real-life Denver visitor. But is Anna Lee on the right track or just running in circles, fleeing from conflicts racing in her heart? In a taut, heart-gripping narrative driven by secrets, romance, and lies, Anna Lee must unravel the case with higher stakes than she imagined, one where answers about a lovely woman's death point to truths and tensions still throbbing today. And it says, a clean historical mystery featuring an amateur female detective from the Christie Award-winning author of All That Is Secret. I think that's the first one in the series. Apparently it's like Christian. It's like she's a Christian author. People like really love this book. I haven't read it, so but it sounds very, very interesting. And she also writes, I guess, for nonfiction. She writes Chicken Soup for the Soul, like essays and stuff. So sounds like it's gonna be a good read.
Did you say that she writes for Chicken Soup for the Soul?
I believe so. If I remember correctly, I was reading about her, just doing some research on her, and I do believe, yeah, it says, because if you look at the bio on Amazon, stop playing with me. It says her devotional writing appears in Our Daily Bread. Sorry, not Chicken Soup for the Soul. Our Daily Bread. She's a regular contributor.
That's what I was saying. Chicken Soup for the Soul. Wait a minute. Throw it back, because School Lasted Book Fair, Chelsea was getting the Chicken Soup for the Soul. Okay.
Okay, one of those. But Chicken Soup, Daily Bread, it's all food.
Yeah, I mean, but also, like, I don't remember the authors from Chicken Soup. Like, I was just like, oh, these are interesting stories. But I wasn't, at the time, I was like, what, 13? I was not checking for these authors at all. The internet wasn't that big yet. So, it's fine. But.
Oh, Vina says she has the first 2.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, Vina, as our resident reader, let us know if the book is any good, if you actually do read it. Mm-hmm. My book.
Oh, Reed Love Listen says she read it. And it's pretty good. Read the first one.
Oh. I love this for you guys. I love this for you readers. This is amazing. This is what the Melanin Spotlight's all about. Okay. As for
what's your book?
My book is called Double Mocha Blues by Tyora Moody. I think that's how you say her first name. And I have not read this book. I actually just found out about it this morning when I had to pick a book for the Melanin Spotlight. But I do want to say that for everyone who's like, oh, Amazon doesn't show me books by Black authors, I'm like, you're not looking them up enough, because I assure you that the only reason I found this book is because Audra sent me her book, and I was just like, oh, I need to find one. And this was like, oh, well, this is recommended based off of your purchasing taste, which means y'all are not only not looking up books by Black authors, you are also not purchasing books by Black authors, because Amazon pays attention to that. So I'm just saying, my feed has been curated, so it can be curated. Just want to throw that out there. That being said, I'm pretty sure this is also, is this an indie book? I'm not 100% sure. Don't give me a lie. It is an indie book. It is, but it is also a cozy mystery. And this is a series. There are 3 books in the series. This is the first one, but the author writes other stuff as well, like all of them like mysteries, but not all of them are cozy. She has like police procedurals and detective mysteries and things like that as well. But this is her cozy mystery. series, and the summary reads. Joss Miller is a 20-something barista who works at Sugar Creek Cafe, a hip coffee house with deep ties to the local arts and music community. Between her bohemian boss and a host of eclectic co-workers and customers, Joss is finally feeling like she's found her place in the world. For once in a really long time, her love life is even looking promising. It's been a few years since she found her mom's biological mother. As a way to heal and move forward with both Joss's mom and her newly acquired grandmother, both Joss's mom and her newly acquired grandmother give Joss their blessing to create a special tribute to a grandfather she's never known. What seems like an innocent gesture sets off a firestorm of reactions in the community, especially with one shop owner who'd rather not be reminded of how Joss's grandfather had been murdered years ago. When the shop owner is found dead, Joss's boss becomes the number one suspect. With her beloved boss in the cafe in deep trouble, Joss finds herself tracking down the real murderer. So, I don't know about it. Is that
sounds kind of good too?
I feel like if I was going to get into mysteries, it would be like cozy mysteries, just because I am in my anxious girl era and I just really need to know that everything's going to work out in the end. Like, I need something that's cozy. That's like, this is not high stakes thriller suspense. I don't need that kind of stress in my life for fun, right? So, as you guys know, both of these books will be down in the description box below, so get into it. But slight disclaimer, they are Amazon affiliate links, so be mindful of that. Cool, great. Support a Black author. Also, slight plug, if you have not already, please go ahead and tap the like button because it lets the algorithm know that you like things like this if you haven't already. So, that being said, Margaret is also here. Hello, good morning. You're headed to the airport. Jay Monet is headed to the beach. I love that this is vacation season. Like, that is amazing. That is wonderful. And I don't know. I just closed out a tab, but I don't know if either of these are in Kindle Unlimited, unfortunately. But request it at your local library. Support a Black author without having to spend any money. There you go. That being said, you guys, we did get a couple of questions in the Q&A that I want to touch on. Also, Diamondback Soldier is here. Hello, welcome. Glad you could join us on the chat. If you have anything that you would like for us to discuss, for sure, check out the Q&A at the top. But before we get into the things that were brought up, I do want to say, Aja, when you were bringing up the documentary about the Rat Pack, I was just like, oh, I've heard that name before. I had no idea what you were talking about. I don't know who these people's names are that you were throwing out. I don't know what they did. I was just like...
Because I'm old. 16 Candles, St. Elmo's Fire, The Breakfast Club.
Wait, I like The Breakfast Club.
Weird Science. There's a whole slew of them, but those are the ones that stick out to me. I never saw St. Elmo's Fire. I tried to watch it. I only got 10 minutes.
What is the Rat Pack? Is it like it's a name for who?
The Rat Pack is it. Well, see, so what happened was, so you have Andrew McCarthy, Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, who did like 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink.
All of those people who did all those movies together.
Yeah, Ali Sheedy, like all those movies. So there was this is what happened. Like in the movie, he talked about, or in the documentary, he talked about how this one guy that wrote for the New York Times, I think, he wrote this article about them. And he had gone to a lunch and they were all at the table and like they were all getting attention and he wasn't, and he was there to just like kind of listen or whatever and write this article. And so he was thinking about the Rat Pack, and which was Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., those people. And he was like, the Brat Pack. And then it was a title that he gave the article, and it stuck, and they all became known as the Brat Pack. And they all were like, you know, he was basically saying that they were a bunch of kids who can't act, and they were all offended by that because they all, you know, had acting careers, and, you know,
savagery.
Yeah, they were just completely offended by this whole thing. And he even talked to him in the documentary. It was like, do you regret writing that? Knowing how it made me feel and affected our careers? And he was like, no.
He said, suck it up, stiff upper lip.
The thing is, I'm like, he's sitting here complaining like I couldn't feel but so bad for him, because I'm like, I'm looking at it from a black perspective, and I'm like, okay, so he called y'all a brat pack, but y'all got a lot of exposure from that. Like, you were on TV show after TV show after TV show doing interviews on top of the movies that you were doing. So I'm like, clearly it didn't hinder your careers that much, and y'all were making millions. And like I said, I'm sure that there were black people that did tryouts for these movies, auditioned for these movies, and were told that they didn't fit the aesthetic or whatever. I would bet my life on it. So I'm just like, it comes from a place of privilege. And they had this, like I said, they had this one black queer guy that was like, yeah, I didn't see myself in any of those movies, and it's just like, it just struck me as being like a brat. I'm like, you have earned the name now, because you're sitting up here talking about, oh, he called me a brat and I don't like it, but you're still making movies hand over fist. So
yeah,
whatever.
But I can see how if someone's like, they don't have any talent, that would offend you. Like, bruh, wait a second. Like, being in the group is one thing, but to be like, you ain't got no talent, wait a second, we can throw hands if you would like.
I mean, yeah, I guess whatever, but it didn't stop any of them from getting movies. So I was just like, you stop your whining. You were
I'm
whatever.
dead. I'm dead. Okay. Well, the only one I knew was Molly Ringwald, and the only reason I knew her is because she was the mom in Secret Life of the American Teenager, and for a while that show had me in a chokehold, and I watched like 5 or 6 seasons of that show, and then finally I was just like, why are y'all all sleeping together? There are like 6 people on the show. I don't understand why y'all don't just get boyfriends outside of the friend group. This is so weird to me. Like, it's fine. It's fine. And then that kind of sent me on a rabbit hole to like go see the other things, because I was like, oh, my dad brought up the fact that she was like a famous actress back in her heyday, essentially. And I was like, oh, really? And so that kind of sent me down a rabbit hole. I tried to watch 16 Candles. I didn't like it. I know there's a scene at the end of the movie where he's holding like a boombox up outside of her window, but I never watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I tried to watch it, and I was like, this is boring. Like, why are y'all so hype about this? And then I tried to watch...
I did like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, though.
I did watch The Breakfast Club, which I really did enjoy The Breakfast Club. But other than that, I was just like, maybe it was a you had to be there moment. And then I just kind of moved on.
Yeah, you have to remember this was the 80s, so there wasn't a whole lot that represented young people in the movies, so I think that's why they kind of took off the way they did, like Weird Science and The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink, and
didn't watch that one either.
It's
I tried, but also I am y'all know me, I'm judgmental. I am the problem when I consume media, and I was just like, so this guy likes her and it's a one-sided crush and she's mad about it? Like, that's the whole movie? I'm confused. Wait, where's the plot? Where's the rest of it? I literally like, where's the rest of it? So that's me. I am the problem. Y'all know I'm the problem. I judge books the same way, because I'm like, if I'm 50 pages in and I'm just like, what is the plot? What is the purpose? Where are we going with this? I'm also like, I don't know, you guys. Maybe we could have spent our time a little bit better. A little bit better.
I mean, like I said, I was a child of the 80s, so TV was much different back then. There was
fair.
When you bought cable was cable. Like, you bought cable so that you didn't have to have commercials. Whereas cable now, everything has commercials. So
I'm sorry, cable didn't have commercials? That's wild.
No, that's the whole reason why you bought cable. When I was a kid, cable was this new thing that came along, and it started with like HBO and then later Cinemax. And when you paid for this subscription, it was just all movies all the time. There were no commercials. That's the whole reason why people got cable, was because they didn't want to have, they wanted to just have channels and channels of movies and stuff, and not have to, and TV shows, and not have to see commercials.
So it was the streaming of your day. That's what it was.
basically, so that's why it's funny to me now when I look at cable and see all these commercials. It's like,
Oh, it's
that was the
egregious.
whole reason they invented cable, was so that you didn't have to have commercials.
Yeah, I was
And
talking
now
to
they have cable and you're still paying for commercials.
Ben, and they were like, what is it? The streaming services are going back to having ads even if you pay for it. And I'm like, that's wild. I'm not going to
Yep.
pay for a streaming service and have ads. Like, are you crazy? What? No, not really. Not really. Whatever. It's cool. The way that I will find other ways to entertain myself, you have no idea how interesting the inside of my brain is. Ain't no way I'm paying you and you're serving me ads. Absolutely no way. But
because Amazon Prime has done that. My husband has Prime, and now when we watch movies on Prime, they put an ad before and after the show like Hulu does. And I'm just like, y'all ain't getting no more money from us.
Honestly,
they're like, oh, you can watch Prime without the ads if you pay. Them like, no, you already get $99 a year from us. You're not getting any more.
You know what's crazy? I feel like these CEOs and companies have forgot that the reason they came up with streaming is because pirating was so bad, and I feel like we're going back to the great pirate era. You know, that's where I feel like we're going. And yes, that was a One Piece reference for my anime lovers out in the world. But that being said, also shout out to Darian Walker, who's in the chat. Good morning, welcome. Also want to say that absolutely yes, ABC Family, let me tell you, ABC Family was in its bag. When I tell you that I was locked in for, I was watching Secret Life of the American Teenager. I watched Switched at Birth. I was watching everything that came on ABC Family for like a good minute. I was watching the movies. Movies were top tier. And when I tell you that every Christmas I was ready for that countdown for the 25 days till Christmas, and I was watching all of those movies, ABC Family has something good going on, especially when they hit the reruns and they had the Boy Meets World on there as well. Babes, I was sat in front of that TV, and I can tell you right now, it's 311 on DirecTV to this day.
Wow.
I was like, yep, nope. We're turning this off ESPN. It is 6:00. We are turning to 311. We are about to watch Secret Life of the American Teenager. Then after that, we're watching Switched at Birth. And then after that, we're watching the 2 episodes of Boy Meets World that come after that. Y'all not have to play with me tonight. Not tonight.
Woo! And Darian brought up something. Look, they said about seasons, you get 2 seasons and 8 episodes. Now let me tell y'all, okay, see, this is me showing my age again. First, we had cable, okay? Second of all, we had TV seasons that would start in September once school started. It would go to June. They would end somewhere around June when school let out, okay? And then from June through that next September, they ran reruns in the summertime. Why? Because most people were on vacations and outdoors during the summer. So they didn't make new episodes in the summer because they knew people weren't going to be there. So you had a full year as a season. And then if you missed shows, and you were bored or whatever, you were home, you just would watch the reruns. It was always going to be a rerun in the summertime. That was a real season that went from September to June. Not this, we're going to throw it all out here, give you 8 episodes, and then the next season doesn't come out for 2 years. What is that? Because then I got to go back and watch a whole damn season again before I can watch the new season because I forgot what happened.
Look, what I'm gonna tell you real quick is I ain't got that problem because I watch anime and anime still comes out weekly. So hate that for you guys who watch real people. That sucks. Because I saw that conversation happening on Twitter about Bridgerton, and I was just like, y'all really out here paying Netflix to watch 8 episodes and then you gotta wait 2 years? That's crazy. That's wild to watch. Oh, I was about to go down a really dark place. If y'all know me and we've been in the after chat, y'all can imagine where I was about to go with that sentence, and it wasn't very nice. But to imagine watching it, knowing who's behind it and who's in it, y'all telling me y'all going crazy over that? Wow.
I have not. I paid for Netflix just to be able to watch TV shows, but I have yet to watch Bridgerton.
Okay, well, we don't have, the only subscription service that say is consistent in our house is Crunchyroll. That's it. If it's not on Crunchyroll,
what?
See, uncultured. It's our anime subscription.
What?
Crunchyroll.
Oh, okay.
It's our anime subscription. Okay. So,
well, that's why I don't know it.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not upset.
We have Hulu, we have Netflix, and we have Prime.
We have HBO Max, but only because
well, I have Max and Paramount, but those are my daughters, so watch under her profile.
Yeah, we don't have Paramount. We have Max, and I think we have Stars or something like that. Whatever Ben comes with Ben's job, they included in his job for free.
Nice.
So it's just like, cool, we have that. And I'm pretty sure we don't watch it because the version that we have is the free version that comes with ads, and we're just not about that. We're not lining your pockets. Absolutely not. But that being said, oh wait, they started releasing parts of episodes or sometimes 2 episodes weekly. Yeah, Funimation didn't fold. So quick thing. Funimation didn't fold. They sold themselves. They sold to Crunchyroll. So they just became one entity or whatever. I think if you're talking about anime, you have like Crunchyroll, and then I think you have High Dive, I think is the other one that does dubs and stuff. So yeah. Also, I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole of anime because that I will never stop talking about that. But there are a lot. I would like to, if you are watching weekly anime this season, I would like to know because things are wrapping up. But I'm going to leave it at that.
I just want to know how they came up with the Crunchyroll. Like, what?
Crunchyroll?
Somebody just sat there and, how?
It's a sushi roll. And sushi is a Japanese thing.
Okay, but how we get from sushi to crunchy?
The name of the roll is called a crunchy roll. This is a sushi roll that's literally called a crunchy roll that you can order.
Oh, yeah, like crunchy shrimp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was a pirate site, and then they got really big, and instead of going under like Kiss Anime, they just decided to go legit. So they started getting contracts and things to actually license anime. And now, because they already had so much pirated anime, they already had a huge audience. They just rolled over, and I think they partnered with like Sony. I believe that's what Ben told me. And so they also just purchased Funimation or whatever, or Funimation and Crunchyroll came together, and then they actually like create some anime now. Like they're big. And also, yes, I personally have seen Fruits Baskets. I saw that question in the chat. But like I said, we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to Audra. I'm not gonna do that. We're here for bookish content. Although we've been talking about books and TV.
If you go off on the anime thing, I'm just gonna sit here and get that blank stare and just listen.
She said, "I'm going to assume the position." That's what she said.
Yep, sure will.
I literally only binge watch TV shows because having to wait week to week, I can't do it personally. You know, honestly, I'm the same way. Ben is the one who watches stuff week to week, but there are some things that I'm like are better consumed on a week to week basis because I'm like, I actually would not want to sit down for 3 hours and watch all of this at one time. That's just not who I am.
Y'all wouldn't have survived in the 80s or the 70s because y'all know what a TV guide is?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like electronic TV guide.
No, it's like a book.
About the little booklet.
Yeah.
You had to wait a week.
But the thing is, I feel like the difference also is, at least from my perspective, is that with the exception of some shows, I feel like a lot of shows that came out in like the earlier time were very like episodic. Like you could watch that one show in isolation, and it's just like if you understood the general dynamic of the characters, then you didn't really need to see the other episodes to get the most enjoyment out of it. Whereas now,
unless it was a 2-part episode.
Unless it was a 2-part episode. But yeah. I feel like a lot of shows now, you have to watch the whole thing in order, which kind of changes the whole dynamic. Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, by the way, I've never seen, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I'm just going to pop in book 2 and see what's happening. Like, no, you're not going to understand anything that's going on.
Gonna be lost.
And I appreciate that personally because I prefer stories like that. But I also understand the necessity of like having episodic like stories or whatever. And I feel like there's some cartoons or whatever that I watched that kind of had the best of both worlds, where it's just like it feels episodic, but the longer you watch, the more you realize like, oh, these things were actually all building up to something. I think that's part of the reason why I struggle with like regular TV, because there's so many things that just like, oh, let's just pretend this never happened. Let's just never address this ever again. And I'm like, wait a second. Roll this back. Dial this
Wait a
back, bruh.
minute.
I think that's part of the reason why during the summers, because I ain't even gonna hold you. I was that kid that was inside. I was inside. I was like, that's part of the reason why I loved Boy Meets World and A Different World, because those things, like, obviously Boy Meets World, they get older, they go on to different years or whatever, but it had like a through line or whatever with Corey and Topanga, then Sean and Angela, and you know, their friendships and things. It was still very episodic, but I enjoyed it. Like Boy Meets World, that was my jam. But also A Different World, I love Dwayne and Whitley.
I grew up on that. Yep. I got my daughter hooked on that because I mean, A Different World was on when I was in college. So it was like especially because I went to community college for 2 years and then I transferred to Hampton. But Thursday night from 8 to 9, nobody was doing anything. Everybody was in their rooms or in their friends' rooms watching Cosby Show and A Different World. Period. End of discussion. There were no meetings planned. There were no nothing. So. Yeah. And it's funny that it's so timeless because the topics are so good. I mean, you had date rape, you had war, you had, math anxiety, you had, just being stressed out in general about college. You had somebody who was working their way through school because their parents couldn't. I mean, there were so many different things happening, pledging, all that stuff, and it's still so timeless. Like my daughter has seen every episode.
Oh yeah, I will say this: whenever I rewatch it, I do skip season 1 because I feel like it got immensely better. Yeah, season 1 is just not good. I guess if you watch the Cosby Show, there was definitely some like pull over from if you really like Denise, but I feel like once Denise wasn't on the show anymore, it got much better.
So much better. Yep.
So whenever I go back to watch it, I always start at the beginning of season 2, and then I watch from there. But I loved A Different World, and I think this maybe, I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, because I tried to watch Grownish as well, because I was like, it's kind of. I don't like Grownish. I didn't like Grownish. And I tried. I really tried to like it because I was like, oh, we're getting another Black girl going to college and experience with like Black friends, right? And at the time I was like, ooh, Chloe and Halle, like I want to support, whatever. I didn't like it because first of all, I don't know why y'all didn't tell me that her character was trash. Like, I don't know. She just seems like a really bad friend, just like in general. And I was like, Whitley was a lot of things, but she wasn't a bad friend. She might have been annoying. She might have been irritating, but she wasn't a bad friend, because of the things that I remember, Whitley was one of the only ones who kept it really real with Kim almost the entire time. Like, I don't know what you, like, I know why I'm here, but you're here to get a degree and you playing with yourself. You need to quit that. Right. Stop. But with Grownish, I don't even remember her name, but I just remember thinking like, oh, I would not even want to be friends with you in real life because you suck at peopling. Like, I don't know. Right. And then the thing that just finally took me off of it altogether is when homegirl started popping Adderall, and I was just like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, that's when I stopped watching. I was like, "Nope,
not interested." You lost me. You lost me. And then I saw a picture on what is it? Not Instagram, because I don't be on Instagram. On Twitter, it was a screenshot of Instagram on Twitter, and apparently she got married, and I'm just like, "Whoa, wait a second. What did I miss?" I don't know. I honestly don't care. I don't want anyone to actually fill in any of the questions. But yeah, it wasn't good. Let's see here. Zoe was annoying. Their college experience didn't feel realistic. And the men on that show are awful, especially Luca. The depiction of BSU is terrible. Zoe was self-absorbed, but the dude character was more fun, and Trevor Jackson character pissed me off with that one rat tail. I didn't like Blackish either. I didn't like Grownish. I didn't like Mixedish. Like, I like Tracee Ellis Ross, and I kind of wanted to support, but I was also like, this ain't it. I think I tried. You gotta do better. I'm so sorry. It wasn't funny.
It's like Blackish. Blackish was cool. Like, it's not something I was like, ooh, Blackish. Like, I always fell behind a couple episodes. They're like, oh shoot, there's 3 new episodes. Let me watch them, because there were some funny moments. But it wasn't like, ooh, Blackish. Like, I was like, ooh, A Different World. Like, don't play with me when A Different World is on. It wasn't like that. It was just okay.
But I think my issue with Blackish is that I found the grandparents to be more interesting than the actual parents. And there are some things where I just kind of feel like they had seen it through. Like, and it's such an odd thing, right? Because I know we live at a different time, a different era, whatever. But you know, there are certain moments in the Cosby Show where I really felt like those parents instilled the fear of God in their child. Like, I forgot the crazy one. It wasn't Denise. It was the middle one. The one that
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
When she went to Baltimore.
When she had big fun in Baltimore.
She had big fun in Baltimore. She had big fun in Baltimore.
You cannot tell me that actress.
I was like, "Ooh, let me go to bed right now." And she ain't my mama.
She's not mama. The thing is, that actress had to have been real life terrified, because the way that she acted, I was like, that can't be acting. That has to be the fear of God. That has to be. And it's just like, you don't get acting like that in a whole lot of things anymore. And it's just like, I would like to enjoy things. I really do. But I also feel like the writing and the acting and the depiction of characters just don't align with things anymore, because the whole time I watched Blackish, like, even that one time where I think I watched one episode where he was like going back and forth about whether or not he should whoop his kids or whatever, and his parents were like, "You ain't never too old for a belt." I don't know who told you that, because the older kids were like, "Oh, I'm too big, like you can't whoop me," and the granddad was like, "Can't I though? Can't I? You want to test that theory?" And it's just like, and it's not even about the abuse, because I'm not saying that, oh, he should have or shouldn't have or anything like that. It's just the fact that it ended with being like, "I'm disappointed in you," and that was it. And I was just like, so there is no punishment, there's no repercussions for this, there are no consequences for this action. There's no cute no, this is dumb. This is whack. This is whack. Okay, in my best Whitney Houston voice. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm trying. Okay, so I'm gonna say this because Vina touched on it, but with Grownish, it was also the fact that she was popping Adderall after 2 weeks, and I'm like, girl, your classes haven't even started yet.
They haven't even started yet. Like,
you just got the syllabus.
You just got the syllabus, and you just had Labor Day break, so classes have not even gotten into full swing yet, homie. What are you doing?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You telling me you on your 4th class? You're on your 4th class, and you're popping Adderall like candy? In your freshman year? Babes, you're not cut out for college. You need to go back home.
No. You need to learn a trade. Go to trade school. Go to trade school. Learn a trade.
But yeah,
college ain't for everybody.
College is not for everybody.
Just saying.
That part, I was just like, she gotta be kidding. I was like, you ain't even hit pressure yet. And you have a friend group. I was like, you have a friend group, you have supportive parents, you didn't pick a hard major, and you've only got the syllabus and went to like 2 classes. You got expectations, bruh. You haven't even had to turn a homework assignment in yet.
Her parents paying for the whole thing, so she ain't even got the stress of having to wait for financial aid to come through to hope her classes don't get dropped before it does. Like, none of that, homie. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Wait a second. I don't understand. They were lined up to register classes on the first day of school. The only reason you do that is your financial aid fell through. You didn't get it until the first week. Why are you? I'm gonna let it go. I'm trying to apply logic to something that ain't got no logic, and I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I just refuse. That being said, looking at the questions, JK, you said that there is a Google Doc circulating around about someone race facing a person of color doing pictures. I saw that. Okay. Right. You know what, Darian? You and me are on the same pages because it's Gen Ed. You're not even in your major classes yet. Girl, you're taking math. This is high school.
English, math.
You're taking university experience.
All over again. Yeah, exactly. Doing nothing, homie. You haven't even got to your major yet.
This is where they're like, hey, go to the library and get a stamp so that you can prove that you know where it's at on campus. That's it. Right. That's your homework assignment. And it was just like, your other friends got clubs and commitments and scholarships and stuff that they have to keep, and your parents paying the whole bill, and you over here stressing over having to go to the library? Babes. You need to go home, talk to your mom, get yourself straight.
She needed some time.
She needed a moment to collect herself. But JK, I saw that a little bit, but I didn't know that it was a Google Doc. I want to see the doc. Do you have a link to it? You have a wrench, so you can drop it in the chat. But I do want to talk about that a little bit, because basically, at least on Twitter, y'all know that's where I spend most of my time, because I don't like Instagram. I will go there occasionally, people don't like to be messy on Instagram. And I'm just like, I need context. If y'all gonna call somebody else, I need context, right? Be in the comments giving me clarification. Don't just post something to go on about your day. Like, I don't know if you're gonna be shady, be the whole tree. Don't just be a leaf, offer enough for everybody. But anyway.
Never heard that like that before. Said be the whole tree, don't just be a leaf. Oh.
But yeah, apparently there's this ongoing trend with authors who are race facing.
Authors?
What authors, And they are like, oh yes, I am a Black person, I'm a Hispanic person, I'm an Asian person. And I'm just like, what? What is happening? Why? And there's this idea that because publishers are looking for diversity, if they pretend to be a different race, their book is going to get more exposure, representation. I don't know. And I'm like, y'all don't, how you, here's my thing. You didn't even do the research, babes. You didn't even do the basic research, because we are literally like the rest of us who are actually people of color are like, hey, you guys, let us in. Why would you put yourself in the crowd of people trying to get in the door? You're already inside. I don't understand what the problem here be. Like, you didn't do any of the basic research. And it's just like, why would you do this to yourself? Why are you handicapping yourself? And it's just kind of like that is definitely a choice. And I know that there was this, what is it, Freitas Moon was the one who came out at the end of last year, and everybody was like, oh, they've been pretending to be a person of color the entire time. They had like an illustrated image or whatever that they used consistently, and come find out that they were a white person. But there was another author, I forgot who, but they were they were yellow facing, which is crazy because there's a whole book about this. Like, it's literally written by an Asian author talking about white people pretending to be Asian to write their stories. And I'm like, this reminds me of all those moments in detective history on television where people are like, oh, I wrote a book, but now they are copying the murder from the book, so we know what will happen next. We have to stop them. And I'm like, did somebody read yellow facing and was like, oh, this is a good idea. This is a great idea. I should just do what they did in the book. Like, I'm confused. What would possess you to do that? Body snatcher shenanigans. That's what it feels like. And it's just like, it's so crazy because y'all know in the Melanin Chat, we always talk about, specifically in the last Melanin Chat, how Triad Publishing, they talk a good game, but they don't follow through on it. And it's just like, why would you want to put yourself in that number? I'm confused. And the logic isn't logicking. And I'm also at a point where I'm like, you know what? This is why me personally, as a personal person, as an individual, right? I'm like, we got to be on a video call. I got to see you. I can't, if you only have an illustrated image, if you only say, oh, I am pictures, verification, can I see your mama? I would just like to know, like, have you always been this way? Or is this like a new wave identification thing? Like, I'm just confused. I would just like to know. Because it's a different experience on the internet these days where people are just like, yes, I am of a minority. Huh?
Can I see your mama?
No, for real. For real.
We don't care about the daddy. Where's your mama?
You know what? It depends on what kind of person you are. Because in America, your mama probably raised you. That's it. It. I want to know what she looked like.
Where your mama at?
Where's your mama?
Where your mama at? And if you are a black person and your mama is white, then we have even more questions because there are things. There are things. There are things. I'm just saying.
There are levels to this.
Levels.
Not to say that those levels are bad. Not saying that at all.
Nope.
However.
Nope. What, Darian?
Hold the fork in your photo. Right?
Hi.
Hey, I need you to go pick up your closest bottle of Vaseline and put it in the picture next to your face. You can't do that? I don't believe you. You ain't got no Vaseline in your house? You know how people take pictures or whatever? You're like, hey, do something weird. Like, hey, go pick up a coaster. Go pick up a fork and send it to me. So I know that it's you, that's your hand. Like, nah, I'm not waiting 2 hours for you to go send the message off to somebody else with a black hand to take the picture and send it back to me. I need to see it right now.
Then if you, okay, let's see. If you don't, what things must you have in your house if you are black? That if you don't have it, we got questions. We got Vaseline.
For sure. I'm gonna say a belt somewhere.
A belt, some body butter, or some kind of lotion. Some kind of lotion.
If you don't have at least 6 bottles of lotion in your house somewhere, what are you doing?
Okay, exactly. So it's not just the lotion; it's the number of lotion. Okay,
give me a washcloth. Show me a bar of soap. I know y'all got that Irish Spring somewhere in your house.
Hold up the edge control and a washcloth.
Nah. Show me that extra pack of hair I know you got in the closet when you got your braids done.
What else do we have? And if you ain't got in your house, we got questions.
I need you to show me your favorite African print shirt. They need to be African print or Africa on it. It could be an earring, a shirt, a hoodie, something. Wear your Juneteenth wear. And if you read books, where's your obligatory Toni Morrison on your shelf? I know you got at least one. Where is
even if you ain't read it, you got it.
You got it. Go pull Their Eyes Were Watching God off your shelf real quick. I need to see it. You know?
You should have that one.
You should have. I don't care if you don't have Toni Morrison. You need to have Their Eyes Were Watching God. That's me. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, show me that pack of water on the floor. Yep, wooden spoon. Yep, see? Y'all know. Y'all understood. Cocoa butter something. Yep.
Cocoa butter something. Yep,
go show me that can of bacon grease on your kitchen counter. I just would like to see it. I would like to confirm.
I want to see the tin of the shortbread butter cookies, the blue tin, and it ain't got cookies in it.
Nope. If you ain't, first of all, I want y'all to know that those cookies are fire, though. First of all.
But that's why they ain't never the cookies in that tin, because you eat them all up. There's supposed to be sewing equipment in there. Or something, but it ain't no cookies in there.
I need you to explain to me the fierce disappointment that you felt seeing that tin and being like, yes, cookies, and then opening it and seeing nothing but needles and thread.
It's a little tomato with the pins in it.
Show me that bag of grocery bags that you got under the sink. I would like to see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Or in the closet, because mine is in the closet because it got too big for under the sink.
Yeah, there are certain things. Show me the good towels. You know, the kind that people are not allowed to use at your house.
Not allowed to use. Yep.
Everybody got them. I got 2 of them, and I don't even know why I have them. I don't even know why. I don't have guests, y'all. I don't like people. Who am I putting it out for? Why do I have nice towels? Why do I have a set of nice towels that ain't never been used? Why somebody gifted it to me when we got married?
That rare occasion when somebody comes over, you got to put out the good towels.
No, I don't. You get the regular towels like everybody else because you're not messing up my good towels. Dragging my nice towel all over your wet body. No. You get the regular towels that go in the washing machine. What are you, insane? What are you, the Pope? No. if you're not comfortable enough using my towels that I use all the time, you're not comfortable enough to be in my freaking house. You can go. You can leave. There are like 8 hotels up the road. Pick one. No. Anywho.
Oh, oh man.
Right? Show me your spice rack. I know you better have more than salt and pepper.
You better. If you ain't got garlic powder and onion powder and some pink Himalayan salt.
Pink Himalayan.
And if you ain't got no paprika and you ain't got no cayenne.
See, she never listed off like 5 seasons already.
Well, that's just the start. You gotta have some cornmeal up in your house. You better have some flour. You better have some cornstarch.
I have some flour, but I need to go. I don't have any cornmeal. I actually used the last of it, but that's neither here nor there. It's gone because I used it.
You had it though. You had it. So
yeah,
you just ran out.
Yeah.
There's evidence. An empty bag.
But yeah, so
and Lowry's. Yep, you gotta have Lowry's.
You know, I have some, but I don't like that stuff. Actually, it's
I can only use it in very small doses because it's very briny.
Yeah. Anywho,
very briny.
We had some other questions that we did not get to because we was running our mouth, as we tend to do. That's okay. That's what y'all come to the Melanin Chat for. Okay, so Vina and Ben kind of had the same question. Vina said we need to talk about how these books just haven't been hitting this year, but Ben also brought up what popular trend are you tired of seeing in books? And I'm going to say mediocrity. That's the trend that I'm actually really tired of. I would just like books to be better. I would like them to be interesting. I would like them to have a plot. I would like them to have character development. I would like them to assume that I'm actually not going to sit here for the next 2 to 3 hours to read the book and actually engage me in a way that's like, oh, you need to sit here for the next 2 to 3 hours to read this book. I really don't like that we have settled in a time and place where it's just like the assumption if you will, is that you're going to read the book because you bought it. I won't, and I am actually not above returning it. And the thing is, I have been, okay, so quick aside, and it's not a confession, but I will tell y'all, the series that I have been obsessed with lately is a Chinese novel called The Husky and His White Cat Shih Tzu. I've been having a great time. It's been so fun. It's hilarious. And I'm just like, oh, I did not see that coming. And I'm like, it was set up like 2 books ago. It's great. It's wonderful. Fantastic. If you like weird fantasy stuff, and I say weird in the sense of it's very not American, there's a slight learning curve. But if you watch anime, if you understand honorifics, you're good. You'll get into it. Whatever. There are footnotes. That being said, I've been having a great time with it. And you know what I've been thinking the entire time I've been reading this series, right? Wow, they don't do this in America anymore. They're not fun. Like, okay, there was a take or whatever. I want to say it was by the Golden Book Hunter on Threads. And I saw it this morning when I went to go tell Threads about the Melanin Chat today, right? And she was like, I don't think debut authors should be able to start with a series. They need to come out with a fire standalone first, right? And I was just like, oh, that's a word, because the thing is, I have read so many first books of a series that I was just like, okay, cute, but I absolutely would not read the second one. I'll just wait for somebody else to read the second one and tell me what happens. I personally don't want to commit more time, effort, money, and energy into this story, into the series or whatever. And I find personally, that the reason for that, like after reading this current series and having a lot of fun with it, I was like, oh, that's because this stuff is boring. It's not pushing the boundary. It's not introducing anything new. It's not playing with any concepts. It's not doing anything exciting. It's not leaning into what it is. The characters don't actually have a personality. They just all straddle that line of, I'm not really a bad person. I'm not really a good person. Like even their morally gray people are really like, you're white with like a speck of black in it. Like you are not morally gray. If you are the lightest shade of gray I'd ever seen. Like you were the shade of gray on a wall in a house that people walk in. It's like, oh, you have such nice white walls. And you're like, actually, it's this really custom shade of gray that I had them make at the store. And it's just like, babes, if you have to tell people that that it's gray, it's not gray. It's not gray. And that's just what I feel like a lot of these characters are. Like, if you're going to tell me that this person is questionable, I need them to make questionable decisions. If you're going to tell me that they're selfish, I want to see their selfishness on the page. If they're self-absorbed, show me their self-absorbedness. Okay? If they are a wreck, if they ain't got nothing together, show me them missing important things, right? Like, part of the reason why for We Are the Origin I made Brandy an assassin, and I'm like, hey, content warning, there's murder on the page, is because I'm not going to tell you she's an assassin and she don't murder nobody this whole book. What is the point of telling you she's an assassin if she don't murder nobody the whole book? I would just like to know. I just feel like there are a lot of authors who don't see anything through. And like I said, as I've been reading this Chinese novel, I was just like, I don't know, man. The main character, out the page one, off jump, author's like, he's a dumbass. He's a dumbass, and I don't want you to ever forget that he's a dumbass, because honestly, y'all, these books are like 500 pages, and I just finished the third one over the weekend, and I'm like, I need to go get books 4 and 5, but I need to slow down because book 6 don't come out until August, and book 7 does not come out until December. The fact that I have these book release dates in my calendar, like, I need to know what happens. I need to figure out what happens. I have not been that excited for a book like since childhood. Okay, and I realized that a lot of these books are just, they're not doing it. Like, I don't know who paid you to do this job, but I'm gonna need you to do it better, because this ain't it. Anyway, that was my soapbox. That was my rant. That was the hill that I will probably die on, because the books that people be hyping up, I'm just like, this is your king. This is it. Okay. Okay. Glad you had fun. I'm going to go back to my local bookstore and return this. Thanks. This was not worth the $20 I paid for it. But that's just me. That's just me. As far as the tropes, I think y'all know this about me. JK mentioned it, but the miscommunication trope, for sure. For sure. The only way I can accept your miscommunication trope is if the character is 14. 13, 14, and they just started high school. That's it. They need to be young. They need to be dumb. They need to be stupid with a capital S. Okay? Like, that's it. That's it. Like, you haven't learned this lesson. You're not convincing me that at 20 whatever, you still a dumbass who can't open your mouth. I'm sorry. How do we get here? How do we get here? You're telling me that you can't text nobody? You ain't even gotta talk. I don't like the people you can text somebody and be like, are you mad at me? Boom. That's the whole question. That's the whole question, instead of going out here and wrecking your whole life, relationship, job, everything. Like, I would like better reasonings for things. I would like logic, if you will. Also, and y'all know this about me, I can't stand a love triangle. I hate it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Pick somebody. If you like both of them equally, you can pick someone and both of you win. Okay? It's really not that complicated. Left or right, you win. I don't know how you can make a whole trope out of you have 2 options and you cannot lose. How do you make a losing situation out of 2 options where you win regardless? Babes, you did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. And especially when that love triangle goes to the point where neither of the love interests like you anymore because you're dragging it out that long. And I'm just like, well, ain't you about a bag of dum-dums? Just pick somebody. It doesn't matter what flavor you get if you're happy with the whole bag. I'm confused. Anywho, that's me. That's me. More standalones would be amazing and make the villain a villain and not a circumstantial villain. Look, man, stay tuned. Stay tuned for my next book, because for sure, I that is also a hill that I'm more than willing to die on. Like, if you're gonna be the problem, stand 10 toes down and be in the problem. That's it. Just be the problem. Don't be like, oh, I saw somebody on Twitter and they were like, they're tired of reading women villains who are also feminists and they don't do anything bad to other women because they're a girl's girl. And I'm just like, if I'm burning down the world, I really don't care if you like me or not. I am, in fact, not a girl's girl. Everybody can catch the smoke. I don't know if y'all have ever seen Attack on Titan, but I very much align with Eren Yeager's philosophies. I will just say that. I don't think he was wrong. I don't think he was wrong. I love how Audra is just like glazed over. She doesn't know what that means. But if you've seen Attack on Titan, then you know exactly what I mean. So That's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't start none, won't be none. You can't be mad when somebody finishes a fight that you started. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Anywho, yeah, I tried Blood Scion. Why Assassins Never Really Be Cutthroat, excluding Blood Scion. I tried Blood Scion. That book was not for me. I think I actually use it to prop up some of the other books on my shelf. Yeah, I was going to give it to the library because my library will actually accept donations of books. So whenever I need to clean off my shelf, I can just take it up there. I kept that one because I needed something
Blood
to like
Scion was
pop it up.
about 100 and some odd pages too long for me.
Yeah, here's my thing, and I realize this about myself. What y'all need to know about me is when I say that I'm the problem in that I don't appreciate characters who hide their powers. I have no appreciation for them. I think they're rather dumb, actually. It's part of the reason why I hate superheroes, because why hide your secret identity? I need y'all to know that if I was overpowered, if I could do whatever I wanted and nobody could check me, I would absolutely do whatever I wanted to and nobody would check me. Like, no, I need a flex. If you have superpowers, I want to see you using your superpowers and I don't want you to be Homelander, but to a certain extent, I can appreciate the fact that Homelander is like, who's going to stop me though? Is it you? Right? Like, I can appreciate that to a certain extent. Homelander is a problem though, so I like to be clear on my stance that I actually don't like Homelander. I don't like the boys at all, actually. It's just, I used it to make a point. I just want to make that very clear. Very clear. But all that being said, I would like more flexing in books. I would like books to be fun. Like, what is the purpose of dreaming up this character who has magical powers and then writing 400 pages of this and they don't do nothing with it the whole time? They out here got to deal with regular people problems. I ain't signed up for this stuff, bruh. That's not what I did. Anywho, I want y'all to know that the Husky and his white cat Shizun, the whole book is about this dude. He had a lot of power and he flexed so hard. He took over the entire world and then he was like, oh, this is boring. And so he reincarnated. He was like, okay, well, I know what that path is like. Let's try a different one now. And he's like, but I'm still super powerful and I know what's going to happen now because I have lived the future. And he's just making different choices just for the sake of it. And then he grows. Growth. It's fun. Anywho. It's not by a Black author. It's translated, but it's a good time. So the only time you'll probably hear me recommend a book that's not by a Black author on this channel. Glad you guys caught it live.
But I mean, it's true. You know, you need to see people use their powers. Like Thanos. My man got the jewels and like snapped half the world. Gone. Like, gave no dams about it. That's what I want to see.
And you know what? I don't think Thanos was wrong either. Honestly. Did y'all see?
No, he wasn't.
Did y'all see that those worlds he saved though? They were thriving. What? A little bit of pain go a long way. I mean, I'm just saying. But as I have said multiple times, and I will probably continue to say, I am the You know what? And with that, you guys, I was just falling off of her stool. So
leaning back and the stool decided to go under. Never mind.
Wait,
it's
what?
Freaking immortalized forever. What? What? What, Chelsea? What are you looking at?
Woo! I just read Vita's comment and she was like, she spent the last 25% of the book playing kissy face with her superior.
Oh.
And I'm like, why is it that I already know that that's Blood Scion and you did not say what book it was? I was just like, oh, that has to be that. I remember because I was like, the reason I put the book down, you guys, I was gonna slog through it. I got to the point where, you know, her and her best friend made a plan. I made it to the point where the plan went awry. I made it to the point where she got to the location. I made it to the point where old dude who was her bully was like, yeah, I know what you are, but I'm gonna make you think about the fact that I know and you're trying to keep this a secret, like it's gonna come back to haunt you one day, bruh. I made it through all of that and I was like, okay, we got the makings of a villain here. We got the villain era. But then she started making faces at the dude. And I'm like, this dude who's probably like a solid 10 years older than you because he's already in the military. And then you're telling me he's trying to kill you and your family and everybody who looks like you. And you're like, oh my God, he's so cute. I want to kiss him. First of all, No! Anybody who wants to actively chop off your head is not attractive. Say it with me. If he wants to kill you, he's not attractive. Ah! Why are you? Ugh, I hate, that is a trope that I hate the most. If he wants to kill you, he's not attractive. He's not a love interest. He's an enemy. We dispatch enemies, okay? We don't kiss them. Okay, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. That upsets me. Anywho.
After chat. Your husband said after chat.
After chat. Okay. So, y'all know what this is. If you would like to join us in the after chat, check out the Patreon. It supports the Melanin Library, it supports the channel, it supports all the things that we do to support Black authors. So, $5 gets you in, and if you can't make it live, $5 also gets you the replay. If I record it and I don't say anything damning that I don't want people to know that I said unless they caught it in real life. So, I suggest that you catch it in real life if you want the real tea, but yeah. And also we do talk in the chat throughout the weeks throughout the break, so make sure you guys join, sign up, etc. Also
Oversimplified Production says we gotta do more chat chooses.
we can see if we can arrange that. But that being said, you guys, that is it. If you haven't already, if you have not already, please go ahead and tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so you don't miss when we go live. We will be back in 2 weeks if nothing goes awry, and I cannot promise that nothing will go awry because life be lifing, but you know, it is what we is. We all in 2024 together. So that being said, you guys, until next time, I hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye, you guys.